Good morning. What does IVF mean, and when should you consider it as a couple? Now, this is an important question I get asked every day. People hear about it, but they don't really know what IVF means. What is that? So briefly, I'm going to explain it to you for you to understand as much as possible what IVF means, when you need to do it, and how the process is like. So before I go, my name is Dr. Parker. I'm a gynecologist specialist here in Accra. If you want to see me, just check my bio for my contact details and send me a WhatsApp, or you can just DM me, all right, for my location. Now, IVF simply means in vitro fertilization. Okay? In vitro fertilization. Now, why would a couple be asked to do IVF? There are a number of reasons. One, maybe the woman's tubes are blocked. These are the tubes. Now, how important are the tubes in a woman's reproductive system? Very, very important, because when you do the thing and the man releases the sperm here, down there, the sperms have to swim through, enter the womb, and then go into the tube, all right? Now, when the woman also ovulates, these are the ovary, the eggs. When she releases her egg, the eggs enter the tube. And so the sperm and the egg, they meet in the tube. That is where fertilization happens. After that, what is formed is an embryo. The embryo will stay in the tube for 5 days. After 5 days, it will fall back into the womb, and that is where it will grow for 9 months. Okay, so anytime the tubes are blocked, obviously the sperm and the egg cannot meet. So the woman would need to do an IVF. Now, a lot of people ask me, Doc, I did an HSG, they say my tubes are blocked, or what can I do about it? The simple answer is IVF. There's no other way to say it. These days, we hardly do any surgeries to unblock a tube. The results are not good. It may lead to even ectopic pregnancy. Because IVF is now readily available, that is the easier way out, all right, when your tubes are blocked. But people are told their tubes are blocked and they keep on trying and trying and trying. Let's be patient, let's keep trying. Your trying is not happening. You, the woman, you are growing old. And for a woman, as you are growing old, your eggs are getting finished. Now, when we are going to do an IVF and the woman's eggs are low, we check something we call ovarian reserve. When it's low, it reduces the success of IVF, because when we stimulate it, we don't get enough eggs. Okay, so this is one of the main reasons why we do IVF, block tubes. The other reasons, when the man's sperms are low or unexplained infertility, sometimes we just can't find the cause of the infertility, why you're not getting pregnant. And you're in a couple, you've been trying for years, you are growing old and old and old, we may say you should do IVF. There are so many other reasons, but let me just stick to this three. So what do we do before the IVF? All right, before we do the IVF, we have to stimulate the woman. Now, God created a woman in such a way that every month she will start producing a lot of eggs from the beginning of her menses. But by the 6th day of her menses, all the eggs will die and only one will grow big enough to be ovulated. That is why normally a woman will get pregnant and give birth to one baby or two maximum or something. Unlike maybe a pig or a dog which will give birth to a litter of 7, 6, 5, 12. Because for those animals, all their eggs will grow to maturity and would all be ovulated. But for a human being, a lot will start growing at the beginning of your menses. But by the 6th day, most of them will die and only one will grow to maturity. Now, the number that grows depends on your ovarian reserve. If a woman is younger, she has a lot of eggs, maybe about 10, 12 will start growing, but only one will grow to maturity. As a woman grows older, maybe she's 38, 39, maybe only about 3 will start growing, because what? Now she has a low ovarian reserve and only one will grow to maturity. So when we are going to do IVF, instead of all those eggs that will die, we try to recruit them all, so that all the eggs that start growing from the beginning of your menses will grow to maturity, so that when they get to a certain size where they are mature, we take you, the woman, to theater, and then we retrieve them, okay? Or what we say, we harvest the eggs or retrieve them, okay? We retrieve them, we don't cut you, all right? We have a way of doing it, and we retrieve the eggs. And then we take your partner's sperm and fertilize it in the lab. So what would have happened in the tube, we do it in the lab. Now you see, if a woman is younger, we'll be able to recruit a lot more eggs to grow to maturity. If she's older, it's fewer eggs that we get. That's why we always say make the decisions faster. Okay, so we fertilize it in the lab. What would have happened in the tube, it happens in the lab. And I told you the egg, the embryo, which is formed, will stay in the tube for about 5 days. So we keep it in the IVF lab for about 5 days. All right, by the 5th day, we see how many are fertilized, how many are looking quality embryos, and then we'll put 8 in your womb. Of course, we won't put all, we'll put maybe 1 or 2 in the womb. And then if you have a lot more, we'll freeze it for you, which is always yours. After you deliver your first child, you can always come back for it. Okay, so we put it back in the womb. And there are various ways we manage you throughout this process. Okay, I can't go into details, but maybe in subsequent details I'll talk about it. So I hope you've understood briefly, in general, in very simple language, what IVF is all about. Thank you.